weird. I'm back. It's third podcast in a row. 3 weeks just chilling here on campus. But today we're going to talk about what we think our first kind of beginner mods are. So if you kind of go off our first one was beginner car, just first cars under 5,000. So let's say you got one of those and you want to do some mods to it. Well, this is going to be what it's about. Well, that's what this is going to be about. Yeah.
So we're going to do top 5. The obviously this list is kind of, at least for me, I think it's dependent on what kind of vehicle you have. I mean, turbo versus NA versus supercharged, all-wheel drive, rear-wheel drive, front-wheel drive.
Yeah, it's all going to depend.
Yeah, but this is just a good general mods. I mean, it's going to help any car. Just the order may change if it's a different style or not normally aspirated.
Yeah, and a few of them can relate to even how old the car is.
Yeah.
So one of my things is going to be probably to have any ridiculous race car mods to it, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Because dailying a race car is not fun.
How you know that?
It's not. My E36 bucket seat and harness, nice suede steering wheel, so I need gloves. People disagree on that. I dailied that for about 3.5 months while my E46 was broken, and it wasn't fun. Anytime everyone else got in their cars and we were getting ready to leave, it took me about 10 minutes to get ready. So buckle in, bring over the lap belt, bring over the other lap belt, one harness, the other side, and clip it all in. You got gloves, then you got to put the steering wheel on. If you want to play music through your phone through that, you got to plug that in, charge that, and then by the time you're ready, everyone else is gone.
And you also have to hope that your gloves allow you to use your phone through them.
Yeah, it's most of the times I do, but you really got to press on it. So when my phone's on the mount, I'm shoving my finger into it. It's a little bit of a struggle. When I had my leather ones, it was okay, but I ripped those. So those were easier to put on and take off. So that's what I use for normal driving. And then the big, what is it? I think my race quip ones. That's what it is. I use those for racing, but I don't have my leather ones anymore. So race quip all the time. So yeah, don't do things like that if it's your only car. I know it may seem cool, and it kind of is, but after about a week or two, it kind of gets old.
Yeah.
And after 3 months, it gets very old.
But people will ask you where your steering wheel is.
They do. And if that's why every now and then I bring it with me to class on campus here. And people give me the weirdest looks. And it's great. It's pretty funny.
I bet you enjoy that.
Oh, it's pretty funny. My car is just an attention whore to begin with. So not having a steering wheel in it and me just walking around, it's pretty funny.
Yeah.
Because, that's how I got Noah and that's how I got Josh into our club, the Speed 6 Josh. So
normal 3.
Well, I guess normal mod's the 3 Josh now. He still has the Speed 6, but he's got his plans for that.
Yeah,
but
it's gonna be fun.
Yeah. So pretty much my biggest one, like I said, if you don't have a newer car and you don't have Bluetooth or an aux cord, I would say just go ahead and get a radio. Get a nice head unit. I mean, it kind of depends if your car has room for a double din and you've got enough money for one. I mean, a decent double din's probably 200, 150.
Yeah, you can get one for that price point.
Yeah, a decent, one for a Pioneer, Sony maybe, a lower end of those, and that'd be nice. I mean, you could probably get Android CarPlay on some of those and Bluetooth, aux cord, the whole thing. And honestly, that's probably one of the better things that'll upgrade the interior of your car, because I know when I put the Eon double din thing in my E46, it improved it so much, because I went from having no aux cord or anything to touchscreen. I can get on the internet with it. I can play DVDs in it. So the whole time up to H2O last year, we just watched YouTube and Netflix and stuff for the 14 hour drive.
Of course, we were on a controlled course with professional drivers.
Yes, absolutely.
Because that's illegal to watch videos
on
here.
The driver obviously wasn't anyway, so.
Yeah, the driver wasn't watching.
He had blinders like a horse.
Yeah.
Yeah. the whole 13 hours.
Mhm.
Promise.
Easy.
So that's going to be my biggest one, is going to be a radio.
Okay, that's an interesting one. Mine is really first up is going to be tires. I think tires
Yeah.
are the most important mod you can do to your car.
Yeah.
Just because, I mean, that connects you to the road, whether it's a daily and you get some really nice all seasons, or whether it's a race car and you need, real sticky tires. I mean, spending the extra money on good tires is definitely one of the best things you can do for your car.
Yeah.
It'll improve stopping distance. It'll improve cornering. It'll improve acceleration from a stop, especially since, if you have a rear wheel drive car, front wheel drive car, you may spin. But even just daily driving, your car will be more comfortable if you get a higher end all season. It'll be just an overall better experience, safer in the rain and the snow and otherwise. So really, I think tires are going to be my first and most important modification.
Yeah. Yeah, that would be a pretty important one, honestly. Like this is all going to be after like regular maintenance too. Like that should be the first thing you do.
Do an oil change.
Yeah, oil change. I mean, if you want to go to the extent of doing a diff fluid change, that's not really that hard. Don't worry about really transmission. If it's an automatic, that's a whole other issue.
You can get a flush done for like $200 or less. I'm doing one on my Lexus here in the next couple of weeks, and it'll be about $200. They say not to do it, but they're lying.
Because I was going to say not to do it.
Yeah, so it's just really important when you're doing a transmission flush, look at the fluid. If the fluid is burnt and black, do not touch the fluid.
Yeah, no,
put some transmission stabilizer, some stop slip.
Yeah,
from flush transmission oil after 100,000 miles.
So anyway, you can, if you check the fluid and it's, dark red, or it looks, it still looks like it should, it's not like burnt or destroyed, then it's perfectly safe to do that. But if you try to change out burnt out and really, really murky, burnt smelling transmission fluid, you're going to end up with slippage or losing gears, and you don't want to play that game.
You're going to have a bad time.
So what's the recap so far?
Well, I've said radio, like a head unit.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, we're going off the assumption that this is like
street car.
From the list of the under $5,000, you just got this car, you want to start doing mods. It's going to be a street car. It's not going to be a race car. So, and then Josh just said tires.
Yes.
Which, I mean, definitely is good. I mean, in my opinion, I mean, you got the pole positions from Bridgestone that are pretty good for all seasons.
D1Rs.
Well, I guess if
you want to play that game.
Yeah, I'm doing that right now on the E46, and
they're great.
They're great, but like they're gonna need to be not rotated, but like flipped.
Yeah.
And I think they'll do that.
Axle.
Yeah, no. I would like to adjust my camber. The BF Goodrich G-Force, either the Sport Comp 2s or the Comp 2 all seasons, those are really good.
Yeah. I'm just going to say the benchmark, the Michelin Pilot Super Sport.
Well, if you want to spend that much money on things, well, I guess if you're going with that, the $71 are within that same price range also. Actually, they're probably cheaper.
Yeah.
The thing is, though, with the Michelin's Super Sports is that you get better tread wear out of them.
Yeah,
they last longer.
They're 300 tread wear.
And then the all season of the 360.
No, I think they're 560.
Are they?
Yeah, I have those on my
Oh, geez. Okay.
Daily wheels, which I never daily.
That's what I had on the Fiat too.
Okay. Wow. Okay. I know the Comp 2 like all seasons are 400, and then the Sport Comp 2s are 320. I think that's about what they are. But anyway, do your research on tires. Also, don't cheap out on those because those are.
Corbin. He just bought 4 tires for $73, and that scares me.
And that's not what you want to do because those are going to end up coming in and they're going to be like power wheels, plastic wheels. That's
they're going to
literally what they're going to.
They're not going to be able to do more than 80 miles per hour.
Corbin, if you're on here,
get better tires.
Yeah. Corbin doesn't go above 80 miles an hour anyway, though.
I wouldn't keep one of those tires as a spare.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
All right. So my one of my mods, bucket seat.
Ben, no, we just said no.
What? It's for a street car.
I get like what like are you talking like fixed back? Or are you talking like reclining bucket?
Are you
Either
talking
or,
like a
whichever
low
one you
level,
want.
like a street level like Sparko seat, like an R1 that has like
Like
the
the R1
adjustment,
R100s
full
or
movement?
whatever.
Yeah,
Yeah.
R100.
And it's not too tight, then that's
Yeah.
honestly that's fine if you want to go with that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because having a fixed back, it's like it's not the best thing in the world. Like it's nice,
Yeah.
but like some days it would be fine. Like some days I'd be able to drive like 3-4 hours with it.
Yeah.
Other days I couldn't drive 20 minutes with it. I don't know why. Some days my back just wasn't feeling it.
Well, you just take the E36 stage 2.0, and you'll be fine.
I just won't have a back at that
Well,
point.
no, you'll break your back so much it won't hurt anymore.
Exactly, you'll get
You'll
used
get
to
used to it.
It'll just go numb.
It'll adapt.
Yes.
I will get out of the car at the rest stop and just probably fall over.
Yeah.
It'll become jello.
Well, yeah. So I mean, you can get NRG has some pretty good
Yeah.
like reclinable buckets that I see a lot of people have.
Or you get replica bucket seats. And
Well, I mean,
do the
that's-
same thing.
That's what the NRGs are.
Yeah, but
Every bride you see.
yeah, because the NRGs are like 300-400 a pair. Cypher,
Yeah.
those are like 300-400 a pair, but I've heard those are kind of a pain to mount.
I believe it.
Yeah, but the only issue with like buckets is that you also have to buy sliders and mounts. If you
Yeah.
want to go with that, it'll depending on what you get, it'll also improve the like look of the interior too.
Oh yeah.
Because Ben, I'm gonna say your seats are ugly
Yeah.
in the Mustang.
Yeah.
So
Red brides.
in
Red Bride reps.
Yes.
in a
With
Sonic blue Mustang, I could see that.
Yeah.
I think
Bright
if you-
yellow.
But instead, I'm gonna get Sparko
Right.
Evo seats.
Yeah, the Sparko Evo 2s are actually like,
Yeah.
I would get those. I've heard the Ergo 2s are a little bit more comfortable because I mean, I guess that's the
Ergo.
name
Yeah.
in the name. I think they're like $100 more though.
Yeah.
So it goes from like $600 to $700 a seat.
The
Or they
Evo
eight-
2 is to 825.
820. Okay, so
Yeah.
yeah. If you want to spend that much money, you can get the Evo 2s, and those are
Yes.
nice.
So
So
why not don't stop there? Just get those Sparko seats that were like $3,100.
at TJ Hunt, they don't fit in anything.
They don't come with fucking rails.
They don't fit. I don't see how they're not. If they don't
Yeah.
fit in the Supra and they don't fit in the RX-7, what are they supposed to fit
Trucks.
in? No,
150.
because like
Hell yeah, brother.
God,
Yeah.
I just don't get it. Like the Cypher seats that they were giving out to everybody that they put in the Miata a long time ago. Those were like touching the roof, and those were ugly too. Like those would
Yeah.
not fit in anything. So you just got to make some measurements because some seats don't
Yeah.
fit in certain cars. Like Miatas, if you have a Miata and you're putting a bucket seat of any kind in there, have fun. Good luck.
If you have a Miata, why do you drive it with a top up?
Well, that too, but it's more like my seat won't. I don't know if my seat will fit in a Miata. It's more about like the shoulder, like hitting the door.
Yeah, the width.
Yeah. So that's the big thing.
Take the doors off.
Take that. Yeah.
Roll cage. Don't need doors.
All right. Our fantasy Miata is slowly turning into a track car, but I mean that's what it should be.
Well, yeah. Oh, so these budget mods are supposed to be for a
No, but it's
Miata?
just a Miata.
Oh.
It's a Miata. It's gonna eventually end up being a track car.
Yeah.
Every Miata will.
Yep.
Yeah. No. If you have a Miata, you should probably just change the seats anyway because those are the worst seats I have ever sat in my
Yep.
life. And Jordan and Medley, you know what I'm talking about if you're on here. Which we have one person. That's
Wow,
about
it
it.
could be Medley.
It could be Medley.
If they 1 in 7 billion chances Medley.
I guess you're right.
Yeah.
1 in 7 billion. But yeah, if you have a Miata, just change your seats out, please.
Yes.
They're terrible. NA or NB, they're both terrible.
Yeah.
I think they're the same seat. No, well, the NA is like longer at the bottom, and the NB is shorter. It's really weird.
Huh.
But all right, I guess we're going on to number 2 then.
Yeah.
So I guess for me, after the radio, honestly, that's nothing important. Honestly, after the radio, I would go with probably what Josh doesn't really agree with over here, and that would be an intake. It's easy. It's fairly cheap unless you want to go
Yeah.
full send and get like,
Carbon fiber.
well, not even that. Like if you go with an AFE or a Can-Am, like
Yeah.
full kit, it's like $300
Yeah.
for any car.
Or you just go to AutoZone.
That's what I did. I'd go to AutoZone, get like
Yeah.
the universal pipe, and that's like $30, and then get the $40 Canon filter, and you're good.
Yeah.
It just makes noises. It doesn't actually give you any power.
Actually makes you lose power.
It probably does if it's not sucking in.
Soak.
Be quiet. It's,
This is why I disagree with it.
I mean, it's very valid. You have a very valid point. But if you have, again, we're going with our fictional Miata here because it's like we pretty much all said it was the number one best car for under $5,000, and that's why we didn't list it. Oh, I guess except for you, maybe. But
And Medley.
where did he? Whatever.
He had to leave, and it was like, all right, number one, and then Miata.
Oh yeah, Medley actually said it. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, if you have a cold air intake on that, or cold air, just an intake that's not factory,
Hot air
Yeah.
intake.
yeah, it makes some good noises.
Yeah.
It
Yeah,
makes very
so-
good noises.
So yes, I'll concede that it makes good noises, but you can do that with like a drop-in filter on the
Mhm.
standard intake
Do it with
system.
a speaker.
You can do it.
You
With
could-
That's my number two. The thing is with an intake, a cold air intake. I can tell you firsthand, cold air intakes do not make anything colder. They make things much, much, much
That's
worse.
just because your Fiat was a heat-soaking piece of shit.
I had an intercooler over the damn thing, and it's still heat soaked. I drove around without the hood on it, and it's still heat soaked.
At that point,
Yeah.
that's a car problem. That's not an intake problem.
Yeah, I agree.
Anyway, yes, the Fiat motors run hot, but the point is that any cold air intake system is not going to be as effective as the factory engineered system, because the factory engineered systems have little pipes that run to the front of the car, to the fender well to pull in air, and there are also boxes to hold, to shield it from heat. So, and it runs to the coldest part of the engine bay because they want it to be as cold as possible. So,
There's a colder place for my engine bay.
so regardless,
The fender.
in most cases, anyway. So with a cold air intake, I mean, you get the noises. You can do that with a drop-in filter that's like $40.
Yeah.
You may not get as much noise, but it's still induction noise.
Well, I know with the like supercharged Miatas, if you just put in a drop-in filter, like K&N filter, it whines. Like the whine is so much louder on it.
Good.
So, and that's what you want. Honestly, it's the reason you get an intake.
That's half
Yep.
the reason I
Always
went Cobra.
Right. See, if you get like the $300, $400 ones, a lot of times those come with like heat boxes and things like that
Yeah.
to help with that. So I think at that point it kind of goes back.
Mhm.
But
But it depends on that system.
it depends on what you got. Oh my goodness, we
Yeah.
just went from like
Oh,
1
wow.
to 2 to 1 to
Now there's
3.
a 3 in 7 billion
Wow.
chance that Medley's watching.
Oh, now it's 2.
Oh, damn it, Clay.
Yeah.
Wow. I keep looking at it. It's going down. I'm just not going to look at it.
Yeah, it depends on which, but really, unless you're making big power, an intake system's not going to help you performance wise.
Yeah,
You're going to
no.
get off. Most times, you're going to get a drop in performance, and if you're just going
Yeah.
for sound, you can do what I did and get an intake tube. Aftermarket, I got an intake tube for the car that gets rid of the intake resonator, which allows for more
Yeah.
sound, and then you get a little drop in filter, and that improves the sound even more.
Yeah.
All right. My number 2, my first one's a bucket seat.
Yeah.
My number 2 would be a tune. Because
Okay. Well, yeah.
if your car has like any variable valve timing, you can get more power from the factory.
Yeah.
You can get better gas mileage.
Yeah.
You can get a little pop and bang going.
If you have an exhaust, yeah.
Yeah.
Or not.
Yeah.
Or not,
Fiat.
or no exhaust.
Or Fiat.
Yeah, I mean-
spoiler alert: hood exit's number 1.
What, for top mods?
Yes.
So you're gonna tell this like 17-year-old that if he just got this new Honda Civic,
He's gonna do it anyway. If he
all
has a Honda.
all stock, hood exit
Yes.
exhaust.
Am
Just-
I wrong?
Just take your intake or your exhaust manifold off,
Flip it upside
flip it
down.
upside down, put it back on,
Yes.
and now you're a Honda boy.
Yes. Think about how good your exhaust gas temperatures would be.
Very good.
Yeah.
Exhaust gas temperatures. I don't know if that's like. I don't know if that's like.
It is a thing for turbos.
Well, yeah, but you have a Honda.
What if you turbo it?
Well, then you have an issue. Like, not then you should be concerned.
Then you're like the JDM Leroy if you have a turbo out the hood.
The JDM Leroy. Leroy just doesn't have any body panel. That
Yeah.
okay.
Give it time.
My number 2 is an
Yeah.
exhaust because
Oh
I
yeah.
feel
that's
like
right.
there's
Yeah.
more.
I
I feel
never
like
actually
there's-
did his number 2.
My number 2 is an exhaust. You can
Yeah.
there's so much free power you can get out of an exhaust.
Yeah. Also, I mean, it depends on. Like,
Yeah,
if you have a
it depends on the
turbo,
car.
yes. If you
Well,
have,
I mean,
yeah.
my car. I mean, you put even headers. You get about 30 horsepower out of it, and if you
Okay.
pair that with an exhaust, you get an extra 10 on top of that.
fair enough.
Most cars, there is free power to be had out of.
If you take out the cats and stuff, yeah, I guess
Yeah.
there's a little bit.
And even
Yeah.
then, I mean, you increase the flow of the exhaust, and you have to remember that manufacturers, they try to keep this balance of quietness and performance. If you say fuck it with the quietness,
Yeah.
you can get so much power out of an exhaust. You can just make it so much better performing. And really, that's kind of the first thing you want to do, especially if you're going to tune the car. With mine, I'm going in order from first to last. What you should do first and last.
Yeah.
So I think an exhaust should come, and a tune comes later in my list. But I think exhaust is something that you should do, relatively soon after getting the car,
Yeah.
because you get more sound, you get more power, and you become a hot boy because you have an exhaust. So.
Yeah, honestly.
We want to get a good sounding exhaust.
Yeah, don't go to AutoZone and get like a little muffler. I'm talking like at least cat back or at least axle back,
Like-
if not cat back.
Yeah.
You can it kind of if you get like a whole custom thing, that's going to cost a lot more at that point too.
Yeah, but there's
But I mean, every car has a few sets.
like an exhaust on my car, I could get like $400 or $500.
That's kind of like the general going rate for like what,
Yeah.
and that's like a catback.
Yeah.
Yeah, like my catback was $375 shipped. So like I feel like the average going rate for any sort of entry level car exhaust is going to be $300 to $500
Yeah.
to be honest.
But I mean, it makes your car a lot more. It has more. It gives it more of a presence.
Yeah, it's a lot more fun to drive with an
Yeah.
exhaust.
Yeah. Well, like when my car was down for 3 months last year, I missed making noises.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's the issue with the E36 is that it's not loud. It's fun to drive, but it's not loud. So it's like
We can fix that.
we will fix that eventually. It's just I sometimes I try to be more obnoxious in that car and I can't.
Yeah.
I can only
Okay.
be so obnoxious.
Well, see, I went from the Fiat that had a straight piped exhaust with no cats and blow off valves and
Yeah.
wastegate, and it made all sorts of noises and pops and bangs, and I got
Yes.
pulled over for it multiple times. And then I went to the Lexus, which was quiet until 4,500 RPM, and I just had to do something about that. So I cut
Yeah.
the back mufflers off, and now I'm putting headers on.
And that's also if you want to do it, because I know this, I guess it's not really everybody's style. And you can also, there's also, I mean, obviously a lot of options. So if you want more of like a lower tone, do some research on like what you
Yeah.
want. So like if I wanted my E36 to be sort of like a, now this is an E36, so it's not going to be a VIP. But if I wanted it to be VIP and not like super obnoxiously loud, the setup I have right now would be perfect.
Oh,
It's like loud enough when you're getting on it, but there's no drone on the highway. It's
Mhm.
not like hurting anybody's
Yeah.
feelings when you're driving down the street. But that's not what it's for. So
Yeah.
now, if you were doing a luxury like VIP build and you had the money to do like a cutaway, I would do a cutaway. That would be
Yes. That's like my exhaust. I think it's the perfect level of loud.
Yeah.
It doesn't drown on the highway. It's loud,
cool. Yeah.
but it's not too loud.
Yeah. There's like a
But
little drone, but it's not like
Do want to get cuts?
that's like my E46. So my E46 is like
Yeah.
for what it is as a daily, I think it's fine.
Oh yeah.
So it's mildly
Yeah.
obnoxious. It pops a little bit.
Yeah. Like I recommend headers, cat delete, then like stock axle back.
Yeah,
That's what mine is.
Is it?
Or
Okay.
at least I think so.
Okay.
Yeah.
So wait, what have we done? so
We're
far?
number 3 for you.
We're number 3 on mine. So I said radio intake. Honestly, my 3 is probably going to be an exhaust as well. So we just kind of covered that. So we just covered that. We can just skip
Yeah.
to Josh's 3.
Yeah, so my number 3 is going to be suspension tuning. So some
Mhm.
sort of, whether you want to go
Mhm.
coilovers or not. I mean, personally, I've never, I kind of like coilovers, but I've never wanted them. In my mind, I don't want to adjust it. I want to be able to set it a certain way and have, and also it's a cheaper option. I tend to just do springs and struts. I
Yeah.
just get separate ones. I'll get, some Bilstein or Bilstein or however the hell you pronounce it.
Who knows?
Or,
Crazy
something like
Germans.
that. And maybe some lowering springs. My car is stupidly low from the factory. I scrape on everything and it's lower than my Fiat was after I lowered it 2 inches.
Yeah.
So
What?
Bags.
you could do bags, you could do coilovers, you could do the spring and struts. That's what I do because I feel it's cheaper and I don't feel the need to adjust it. So if I do that, I don't really have to worry about
Or
it.
cut your springs.
Or you cut your springs and they fall out on the highway and you die.
What's the
Only if
fun?
you go full send.
And it keeps you guessing, keeps you
Yeah.
on your toes.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
does.
Makes for a fun ride, really.
Yeah. So if you want a fun ride that you could possibly die on, then you could do that.
Yeah.
Personally,
I mean-
I like my daily. And another thing with coilovers for me is that I do daily my car,
Mhm.
and I feel like coilovers just tend to have a rougher ride, even if you
No.
even if you turn them down to
If you get the shock and damper setting or the
Yeah.
spring and damper settings right, they're comfy.
Yeah, like
You- Yeah.
it depends. That's another thing where you need to it depends on
Yeah.
each car.
yeah. Well, anyway, with that, I mean, I feel like a shock and spring setup is cheaper. You
Yeah.
can get what you want out of
Yeah.
them easier typically. And I see a lot of people, especially, and look at what car you have, but I noticed in the Fiat forums as well as on the Lexus forums, especially with ISFs, they have a lot of problems with coilovers just because of the way the suspension architecture is set up. They don't play well because of the multi-link rear suspension.
Interesting.
They have issues with the coilovers.
Solid rear axle?
Hmm?
A multi-link rear, that's a solid rear axle.
Not all.
Not always, but
Oh.
anyway. So yeah, with a shock and spring setup, they're simpler. They're, in my mind, they're easier to do. But like I said, that's kind of where I'm at. But anyway, regardless, I mean, my number 3 is going to be suspension tuning
Yeah.
of some sort.
Yeah.
I was going to say also suspension tuning.
Well, yeah.
But one thing that, if you don't want to spend a lot of money, get coilovers, anti-roll bars.
Those two.
Yeah.
They can make a big difference in how the car handles in relations to oversteer and understeer.
And normally one of those is like what, 200 to 300.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you really only need to get like one. Getting
Yeah.
both would be fine, but like
Yeah.
again, it depends on your chassis. Like I only need one. A lot of people don't run
Yeah.
rear sway bars in my car, and I'm not right now. So living on the edge.
Yeah.
But
Can you get that oversteer?
I'm trying, but I need a bigger front sway bar. So that'll be in the future.
You can weld your control arms.
No.
Basically what a roll bar does.
I know, but like then who needs shocks at that point?
Yeah.
No, you don't. My 4 is going to be suspension as well, but it's just kind of like this is kind of a boring list.
For beginners.
Right. This is beginner things.
Yeah.
So my 4, like I said, will be suspension. If you can spring for the coilovers, I say go for it, just because you do have that adjustability, and I like that. It's kind of a pain to get it right, but when you do get it right, you can
Yeah.
It looks
and
really
you
good.
There's adjustment in it, so you can, if you're rubbing on a lowering spring setup, you're just about screwed.
right. But if
Whereas-
you're on a coilover setup, you can raise it a little
Yeah.
bit. Now, most of the times you're not going to rub on a sport like a lowering spring setup unless you have like a severe lowering spring.
Or
And not only that, but if you get a lowering spring and you rub, you get a higher, like a less aggressive lowering spring, and it still ends up being less than coilovers in most circumstances.
I guess you could return the lowering spring.
Yeah.
Do they? Yeah. Well, I don't know. I just like the coilovers. I feel like if you're going to go through
Yeah.
that work, you should
Yeah.
do it.
you're taking it all apart, so it's less work to put a coilover in.
Yeah, in my opinion, that's what. But if you're on a budget, springs are honestly fine. Like my E36 was on lowering springs. My E46 is on lowering springs. And before the shocks blew on that, it was actually a really comfortable ride with the E46 with like Bavarian Autosport lowering springs and Bilstein shocks. But
We need new ones.
I do need new ones now, but that's just kind of like an E46. The Bilsteins do have like a lifetime warranty, but it's only for the person who bought them, and you have to have the receipt for it. So because I didn't buy the Bilsteins, I bought the car with them. I can't do the lifetime like warranty
They
on them.
come with that from the factory?
No,
Oh.
no, that was aftermarket.
Okay.
But see, if I were to go with that same setup, it would be like $800. Like it'd be $800, and that includes shock springs, new top hats, bump stops, all the things like that. Whereas if I went for like another $150, I could get some BC coilovers, and
Yeah.
I would prefer that a little more,
Yeah.
just because you got the 30-way adjustability for dampening.
Yeah. Height adjustment.
Yeah, and that's just me though. I mean, I would love bags in the E46, but you're looking at $3,000 for bags for an E46.
Send it.
I don't have
Financing.
No, I'm not gonna finance anything on my like 18-year-old BMW. It's just a terrible idea right now. But if I was gonna spend $3,000 on anything,
Wide body.
I could wide body, but then you would need bags. I guess you could go static. That's so. Then you need wheels and tires, and
No, you don't. You need spacers.
you need some like big 40mm space. I think the Pandem kit is 50 mil.
Yeah.
It's 50. I think it's a 50 mil wide body for the Pandem kit for the
you can fit some
E46.
305s on that.
Yeah, that's gonna be way expensive. We'll wait.
Yes.
We'll wait till later for that. So there we go. That's my 4 is suspension as well, but preferably coilovers. If you have the money, go for it.
My number 4 is going to make some waves.
All right.
E85.
No.
Yes. So
Is that considered your tune though, or is that
my tune is number 5 technically.
Okay.
Because it comes after the E85. But
so? This just means you're just pumping in
they
the
should
85.
just no. So let's cross over. So like E85/tune, because you need a tune to run
4 or
E85
5.
effectively.
Now, when you say E85 though, is that?
I
does that
mean
mean
converting to
correctly?
E85. Yeah.
Okay.
So dropping in correct fuel injectors. If you need bigger fuel lines, doing that.
bigger fuel pump?
Bigger fuel
Yeah.
pump, things like
The
that. So
lifespan of the injectors and fuel pump is going to be less.
Yeah.
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 Just because
So
it's E85.
yeah. So the thing is with the E85, I mean, it's a cleaner burning fuel. It burns cooler. So if you have a turbocharged setup or a supercharged setup, I've seen the effects of E85 on a turbo, and it's actually magical how well it does at heat dissipation compared to
Higher
gasoline.
octane.
Yeah. So with that, I mean, I think E85 is one of the best things you can do for performance, and it also sets you up for big power
But
if you ever want to do that.
Absolutely destroys your fuel economy.
It kills it.
You go like
you
8
lose
miles
miles per gallon.
That's correct. You lose fuel economy, but it's
Yeah.
also a cheaper fuel. So in that regard, you
It's
lose.
about the same.
It,
I
you
don't think
basically it ends up costing about the same. So
It might cost
and
a
that's
little
if you
more.
go with an E85
Yeah.
tune. So if you don't tune E85, then your engine will basically just dump gas into the cylinders. So if you don't get a tune for it, yes, you'll get crappy fuel economy.
Yes.
But
And if you're dumping a lot of fuel in there, you'd have to do oil changes quicker or more often, just because the gas is going to be getting into the oil, ruin the viscosity of it.
Correct. So, yeah, there's things that come with E85 that you have to do more frequent oil changes because see, E85 is actually water soluble, or not water soluble, but it absorbs water. So
Yeah.
when introduced to oil, you do not put water in your oil. That and E85 has a smaller molecular structure, so it slips past the piston rings and things like that. So generally, though, E85 I think is a really good next step.
I mean, I change my oil every 3,000 miles. If
Exactly.
I went to E85, I'd still change it every
Yeah, still
3,000 miles.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
you just can't go like 5 to 7,500 miles on it.
Yeah,
It probably won't cause a problem, but it could.
In the long run, I think it would be the issue. Not
Yeah, and I mean when it sold me when I saw a big turbo Fiat 124 Spider run the Dragon twice, like down the Dragon and back twice, and then he popped his hood and said, "Grab the turbo." And I did it because I trusted him, and it was just kind of lukewarm. It wasn't hot. He had a good intercooler setup, and he had E85.
Like the exhaust side or the compressor side?
The compressor wheel.
The fuck? No.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's weird as hell. I don't know how it did it, but literally he said this the E85 tune
He
and
has
the
a water squirter for his turbo, just to cool it down.
no,
afterwards.
he does not. It's just a proper front mount intercooler, which is a big part of that as well, and then the E85.
Yeah.
I don't know how the hell he did it, but that's how he did it.
Magic.
Dude, those people up there in Washington and British Columbia, I just don't understand them.
Why?
Because they just do shit like that, and it's like
Did
my Fiat was overheating from the freaking intake temps. I freaking took the hood off, and it still was being pissy. And then this dude's like, "Oh, just grab my turbo," and it's not even the temperature of the inside of my car. Jeez.
Yeah.
So yeah,
All
just
right.
do 85. It's pretty cool.
All right, my number 4. We already talked about it. Wheels and tires.
Okay.
It can make your car handle so much better. It can change the look of your car completely.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you can be like absolute hot boy with the right wheels.
And like for me, I've only ever had one set of aftermarket wheels, and I have a lot of wheels,
I know.
and all of them except for one set are OEM wheels. So even if you just go and try and find like OEM wheels from like other cars, it can look fine.
Oh yeah.
So like if you're looking for that, I know a lot of
One thing that helps is BMW uses the same.
it's all the same. The center hub is all the same except for the E39 for whatever reason. But any of the other stuff, I mean, you can, if you have a BMW, just find any other BMW wheel and just throw it on.
And also, a lot of cars use the same bolt pattern. Like Fords share the same bolt pattern with Mazda, Ferrari, Honda, Mitsubishi,
Basically, if you have a Mustang, go find yourself some Ferrari wheels.
Evo wheels.
Yeah, that's right. Evo.
Yes.
Mitsubishi Evo.
Yes.
You could do that.
Yeah.
Why haven't you done that?
Because I just need to talk to Josh Hunt.
Yeah, true. Fair enough.
Yeah.
All right. So wheels and tires on that.
Yep.
Fair enough. All right. 5. I had it and it's gone. What did I have? I forgot what I had for 5. Oh, this is not good.
Plasti dipped orange wheels or pink wheels.
They were coral and they weren't plasti dip.
They were Patrick Starr.
It was Rust-Oleum. It was legitimate spray
Peel
paint.
coat.
What?
Rust-Oleum peel coat.
No, it wasn't even. It was paint.
Rust-Oleum plastic dip.
It was paint. It was not plasti dip. You could not remove that. The only reason it was chipping a little bit is because of the paint that was underneath what I had put on.
the plastic dip that was under it.
No, if that was plasti dip, that would have ripped it all off, and it wasn't. I tried.
Yeah.
I had a 5, like I said, and I cannot remember. So I did radio, intake, exhaust, suspension. Really, anything else would be just like random little touch-ups that'll like. If it's your daily, I like interior stuff because
AC refresh never hurts.
yeah, honestly, if you do like just like small things like that, like AC refresh would be nice. If there's like any upgraded trim from like another like trim level of a car, like I really would like a titanium silver like interior trim for my car for the E46. That would look really cool. That's kind of expensive, so I wouldn't worry about looking for it. But if there's stuff like that you would want, that would be neat. Some headlight restoration or add in some angel eyes if you're a BMW guy, or honestly
Or if you
just
wanna make custom headlights.
or if you want to make custom headlights, that would be like pretty rad. But just small little details like that, or if you want to go like pretty much anything that you can find for your car that's going to be like under $100.
Oh yeah.
Like you can do a lot of
decals.
no.
A big arrow as your radio antenna.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pretty much. I know a lot of people like with the like normal 4-spoke steering wheel with the E46s like to get the 3-spoke sport steering wheel, and that's really not bad. That's like $200 maybe, and it improves the look of your interior like a lot. There's a lot of like gauge cluster customization things you can do that would be pretty cool. Anything in the interior that you can find, I would just say do interior mods after that.
Yeah.
Because if it's your daily, that's where you're going to be spending most of your time, and you're going to appreciate it a lot. It may not be the most visible thing from the outside, but it's a lot nicer on the inside because that's how it is with the E46. once I get in it, I don't care what's on the outside because it's comfortable on the inside.
Yes.
So that's my fifth one. Interior things.
Yeah. My fifth would probably be, I was going to just say like cosmetics, but that's too broad of a spectrum.
That's similar to what I did.
Yeah. So, I mean,
fair
really,
enough.
personally, I think, and this is kind of weird, but it has a safety tie-in, is lighting. I mean, I would do
Yeah.
aftermarket
Oh.
lighting. Both taillights, headlights are cool. I mean, I plan to do both of those. I have custom interior lighting. I plan to do custom exterior lighting.
Yeah.
Underglow. I am doing underglow.
I want
Um,
to yes.
I want to
I,
get some.
I
too.
will be doing underglow. I'll be doing the custom vent lighting for the
The
vents behind the
fenders.
front fender.
Oh, that would be cool. It'd be like
so
extremely ricey, but
You,
like
you got
it's
to
okay.
watch out, or
It's
else you're going
coming
to be one of
back.
those shitty trucks.
no, I'm not going to be, because I'm going to have it professionally installed,
The-
and it's
the-
going to have the exterior ones are going to have a separate controller to the interior ones, so I can turn the exterior ones on and off
See,
really easy.
The thing with Underglow is like it's coming back, but not really. But like every few months, it's like, oh, Underglow is cool, but then it goes back to not being cool.
So I can turn it on and off whenever it becomes
Exactly.
So when I go to H2O, I can turn it on.
Yes.
No, you can turn it off because that's how you get tickets.
Yeah. When we
As
go
long
to
as it's not
H2O,
front facing, it's legal.
but it's H2O.
Yeah.
Don't care. I'll park my car on the side of the road and just like leave the accessories on and just have them like
Oh my god.
just doing all
Yeah.
sorts of shit.
Or you could just have it orange if that, because is that that's not illegal, is it?
It's amber. So
Amber, yeah.
Yeah, amber
Yeah.
tag lighting. It's visibility. High
or you
visibility.
can be like me and not have license plate tag or lights.
And how long have you had that? Like you
3 years.
and not had an issue?
Wait, almost 4 years.
Yeah.
Never had an issue.
Well,
I mean, granted, if I piss off a cop enough, it will be,
right.
but I
But-
haven't done that.
I haven't done that yet, so you're okay.
Yep.
Fair enough.
All right. My number 5. It's the most important thing you can ever do to your car.
All right.
Driver mods. Seat time.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Yep.
And that's honestly, if you plan on doing track, it's even more important. But even
Yeah.
if you don't, do like the SCCA has the street survival school, and BMW Car Club has street survival schools. Tire Rack does. Do a couple of those if you're like new to
Yeah.
driving.
Or it's just closing the service desk, closing it.
No, I don't care about the service desk
Yeah,
here. It's
fuck 'em.
garbage. This place doesn't close till 2.
Yeah.
But yeah, driver mod is honestly like it. You may think that you only need that if you're driving on a racetrack, but you don't,
Yeah, no.
because everyone thinks they're a good driver until they're not.
Yeah.
You run into Jersey barrier.
Or you flip your van on Toge.
No, there was
Hey,
deer,
he
man.
saw a deer, man. Yeah.
They saw 2 deer.
The story I got from him was that he said it was a deer just so he could get away with it, but in reality, this is his
Everyone
words.
knew.
This is his words.
All right.
I took my secret Toge line, and there was gravel on the road.
In your minivan, what are you trying to be? Like, talk me, just like dip your wheel into the
That's
gutter
what.
there.
That's literally what he said he did. He went off the curb, and the secret toge line. also known as off-roading.
Fucking Sleepy Hollow.
There
And
isn't
then,
really, that's so
Yeah, he wasn't wearing a seatbelt.
Yeah. No
Flipped his
insurance.
van. No
Lighter
insurance.
fluid above his.
No, he had no insurance. He had a restricted or a suspended license, and he had lighter fluid in the head, like in the visor above his head. And then when he flipped it, it like was leaking on the headliner, and then his cigarette had fell somewhere in the van. He had no idea where his cigarette was, but he was smoking a cigarette while he was driving
Why did he have lighter fluid?
to light his somethings, to light cigarettes. I
Probably a
guess
Zippo
I don't
lighter.
know. Yeah, a Zippo. I think he said he had
Oh, like a Zippo lighter fluid, I guess. Fair enough. All right. Well,
butane.
Yeah, but
I mean, yeah, I would
Yeah.
say go with that
yeah,
because
like the,
Yeah, driver mod is
like
good.
if like I work with a guy who's really fast at autocross.
Yeah.
Whenever I ask him how do I get faster at autocross, he
Seat
basically
time.
just says seat time.
that's all you really can do.
Yeah.
I mean, you can have your car fully spec'd out,
Yeah.
which mine
Like,
almost is, but
like Michael Neat's car at the last CKRS event was laid the FTD, like fastest time, set the fastest time of the day.
Right.
Just because I'm not as good as a driver is. Hate to admit it.
right. But
But
it's
it's
just how
true.
it's how
Yeah.
it is, and he has a lot more experience with that stuff. So
Yeah.
driving on the road is more of a defensive thing than anything else.
Yeah.
You just have to watch other stupid people.
Yeah.
But remember, you can be defensive by being offensive.
Just have a gun and point it out your window.
When somebody cuts you
Honorable
off, you
mention.
cut them off.
Honorable mention. Is that your honorable mention as a gun?
It's the medley defense.
The medley defense. That's fantastic. All right, so what was the first mod to your all's car then?
The first mod.
Like ever.
Ever.
Because mine was LED interior lights on the E36 from ledglow.com. They were like 40, $50. First time I had no idea what I was doing. And yeah, I would say they were pretty cool. And then I took them out. I don't know where they are now. But that was mine. If you want some interior glow, go to ledglow.com. They have actually really cool underglow, which is what Corbin has. He has like the million light combo or something. It's like a $250 kit, but it's really cool.
Mine was, I guess, since I used tires as a mod. I mean, my first thing was tires on the Infinity. I put like really high performance tires on this stock ass Infinity 237.
Pirellis or is that the Nittos?
I put the first tires I put on them were Nitto NTO 5s, and then
that's their like equivalent of the 71Rs, isn't it?
Yeah.
So we were
200 tread wear.
Yeah, and I put them on down in Florida, and we got back from Florida. They were already like halfway gone.
Yeah, they don't do long drives very well.
Yeah, so we I ended up using those up pretty dang quick, and then I put Nitto Motivos on them. But first real mod, I think was it was the, I can't remember which one. It was the blow off valve adapter plate for my Fiat. That was the first mod I did to it. It was not a real blow off valve. It just put a gap, a little like vent between the actual like the bypass valve and where the turbo was. So every time I let off the gas, it would go.
It was like kind of a blow off valve, but still.
It made a blow off valve. It made a blow off valve sound, but it wasn't actually a blow off valve.
It was still basically a bypass valve.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting.
Crazy.
First
it was $70.
Yeah. Honestly, my car stayed stock, or I didn't really do anything for like the first 2.5 years.
Well, I mean, your car came with the exhaust too, didn't it?
Yeah.
So like that really wouldn't count.
Yeah. So I mean, the first thing I honestly did was rebuild the motor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. What a first
and that
mod.
wasn't a mod.
Yeah.
So his real first mod, because that's not a mod that's just fixed. That's a repair. The first mod you did was the billet headlight switch, right?
No, I just replaced that because it was broken.
What about?
But you got an aftermarket
gauges?
Radio antenna.
No.
All right,
from like this like big 3-foot antenna.
Polyurethane motor mounts. I think that was the first thing I did. Okay. My headers, when I was accelerating in a corner, I could feel it rubbing on the steering shaft.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh no! The first mod I did, if you count it as a mod, was take a wiper blade off the front of my Fiat to make it a single wiper.
And then you took the passenger airbag out.
I took all the airbags out of the car except for the driver steering wheel airbag.
He was a race car driver for about 3 weeks, 2 weeks maybe.
Yeah. I was more than that. So I took all the airbags.
Back seats,
I took all the back seats out. I took all the soundproofing out. I took the airbags out of everything except for the steering wheel because that would have thrown an airbag cut. I don't know why the other ones didn't. And then I had the straight piped exhaust. So I was at a race car Fiat for a little bit. And then I realized how badly I like slid around because there was no weight in the back of the Fiat.
And it's a Fiat, so like it doesn't weigh anything to begin with.
It's going to flip.
It would flip if I hadn't lowered it. But yeah, so I put all that back. But really the first mod I did, modification, was take one of the wiper blades off the front to be a single wiper blade Italian race car.
That, I mean, yeah, I guess stickers don't count because there's.
Yeah, well, that's like the easiest way to add horsepower, though.
It is. It is a very easy. Every sticker is 5 horsepower, and if you get one of the die cut ones, that's 5 horsepower per individual sticker.
Yes.
So,
dang.
But the thing is, it kind of falls off because, like, if you wrap your car, that's just one big sticker.
Yeah, that's only
so
5
it's only
horsepower.
5 horsepower.
Now, is that like?
No, because
is it like different panels?
Yeah, well, yes, that's true. I know a lot of people, they can wrap like the whole side of a car with like one sheet. So that's just only 5 horsepower per side.
That's impressive, to be honest.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I guess sticker's not a mod though. Stickers
Yes.
aren't mods.
All right, honorable mention. An
All right.
LS because it fits in everything.
That's what. Yeah, I had someone tell me LS.
They run on everything. They
LS
don't blow
swap
up.
the world.
Yeah, they're cheap.
Ish. I mean, you can say an LS swap only costs $5,000, but everyone knows it costs a little more than that.
Yeah, but then once you have that swap going, if you want to put like an LS7 in there, it'll just be
drop
the
it.
motor.
I mean,
maybe a new fuel pump.
We're talking. So pretty much, here's the you buy your first car, it's a Miata.
You blow the motor on the second day, put an LS in the third day.
It's hard to blow a motor on a Miata.
Give it to me.
Give it to Ethan Wilson.
Yes.
He's blowing like 5.
Yep. Let me drive your Miata.
I feel like he's
Don't
trying
let
to
Tokyo
get
Death Wish drive your car.
Huh?
Don't let Tokyo Death Wish drive your car.
Yeah.
Or me, apparently. I guess I just like spread cooling diseases everywhere.
Yep.
My radiator exploded. Did you drive my car?
I did drive your car.
My radiator exploded because of him.
I drove your car for about 15 minutes.
I haven't driven your car.
Yeah, you're not driving my car.
Wow. I mean, if
It'll
Ben-
blow my head gas.
Yeah,
Hey,
Ben
the
will blow
last
a
time I
head
drove your
gasket.
Fiat, we almost got ticketed.
You almost got ticketed.
As you like walk, you all were doing trade donuts and in the parking lot of U of L.
I did it for 20 minutes,
Yeah.
and then he got in, and like after 45 seconds of him doing it, the cop rolled up and it's like, you know, that's.
Well, good job. Good job.
And then we almost left with the trays still on the back tires.
Yeah.
Did you?
We were like, he's like, get out of here, and we're like, okay. And then it's like, oh wait, there's still trays under there.
Did you all just leave it? Like put the handbrake down and leave?
Yeah.
Just it was like trays were just there.
Yeah.
That's great. Just leave them there. All right.
I
Well,
still have those trays somewhere because I went back and got them.
he didn't pick them up. He
Yeah.
just. Oh my god.
He's lazy.
Fair
He didn't
enough.
want to drag our dead bodies out
Campus
from.
police.
Yeah. The car after he hit a telephone pole.
Fair enough. Well, just remember every mod you do is going to be different for each
Yeah.
of everybody's cars. So just kind of do your research, get on some
Yeah.
forums, Facebook pages.
Preventative maintenance should be done before all mods.
Oh yeah, yes. That was something we said towards the beginning was
Yeah.
This is all after maintenance.
Yeah.
So this is all after oil change, fluids.
Yeah. And then
Yeah. So like let's see. If you've got an E46 crankcase ventilation system, check that or just do a catch can.
Yeah.
Because that'll be a lot easier. Valve cover gaskets. Those are big for E36s and E46s.
how many have you replaced?
The E46 I go through about probably 1 or 2 a year.
Fuck.
The E36 in general just eats valve cover gaskets. Not head gaskets, valve cover gaskets.
Oh.
So valve cover gaskets are no bueno. And they're not the easiest thing to replace just because in the very back of the engine at the top is that one little bolt there and you can't get a ratchet in there. You can't.
Yep.
It's a pain. But
I'm sure the Snap-on guy has something that'll.
I'm sure the Snap-on guy
application
would
perfectly.
Yeah, to the one bolt it'll be like $80, an $80 tool.
Yes. Think about how much time you save, and how much frustration.
Probably 5 minutes.
Yes.
But it does take about 5 minutes to get one bolt out.
Yeah.
It's annoying.
Not when you have free DeWalt power tools.
Well, yes, that's a
Yeah.
story for another day. But yeah, just do some research on your car. Every car is different. So different mods are going to have a different effect. And do whatever you want to do, to be honest. Like, don't listen to anybody. Like, take our word for it. I mean, obviously, we know kind of what we're talking about. Kind of.
No,
We're not.
sort
We
of.
don't know what we're talking about. You're right, Josh. I mean, we've only been doing it for a few years, honestly.
Yeah.
So we only know what we're talking about in our cars, and that's about it.
Yep.
So do whatever the hell you want, honestly. It's your car. It's not mine. Just don't be stupid about it.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I guess we'll see you next Sunday.
All right.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.